Hello everyone. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the financial planning. So, in the previous chapters, we are discussing about the decision making of about the finance, where to invest and which form of the decision that we need to take. That we have discussed in the previous sessions. In today's sessions, let us see what is planning. So, in this, there are two concepts. One is finance and one is planning. So, there are how we need to plan the finance, how we need to distribute our finance. So this will be discussed under this chapter. The first, let us see the meaning of financial planning. So it means deciding in advance how much to spend, that is how much finance that we need to spend and what to spend. So how much finance that we need to send and for which purpose we need to send, this we are going to decide in this particular planning, that is financial planning. So according to the fund at your disposal, that what is the fund that we have, based on that we are going to decide how much we need to spend and on which we need to spend. So this is about the financial planning, the meaning of financial planning. So let us see that what it includes. First one, it includes determination of amount of finance needed. How much amount we need, what is the amount of finance that we needed. Next comes determination of source of fund, some that is means in from which way that we are getting the fund. That there are two ways of fund, that is owner's fund and one is borrowed fund. So from which way of fund that we need to use, that we are going to decide. And third one, determination of suitable policy for the proper utilization of fund. So now we have the fund and we have gathered the fund and we know what amount of fund that we needed, but we need to decide the suitable policies for the proper utilization of fund. That means we need to utilize it in a very well manner and we should not waste that amount. So that is what the utilization of funds. So that will be included under that. Next concept will be objectives of financial management. Objectives of financial management means what are the main objectives of financial management. Under that first one, to ensure availability of funds whenever required. So it ensures, the main objective of the financial planning is that it ensures availability of fund whenever it's when we want the fund. So for at that we need to analyze and we need to plan to borrow that fund to see that the firm does not raise the resources unnecessarily. If we want the fund, okay, fine, we are going to raise that fund. If we don't want, we should not raise that. It is unnecessary of raising fund. If we want, we can raise that. So the next point will be importance of financial planning. Importance, why we need the funds. First one, collection of optimum funds. So what happens when we go for the financial planning, we come to know what is the actual amount that we needed and for which purpose we are needed. So this will be, we are going to collect in that one particular manner. Next, helps in investing the right project. So we have the fund and we are not going to misuse that fund. We are going to invest that amount in one particular one wonderful project, or we are going to invest it in that one particular well-known project. Next point is it links present with the future. That means what is the amount that we have and what we are going to raise, and from that if we invest in some other ways, so what must be our returns, what is the returns that we need to get. So we are going to decide that. So it builds a links between present with the future. Next, base for the financial control. So planning will help us to take a very particular base, that what is the amount we have and how much we need to spend and what is the amount that we need to spend. So it will give a financial control to us. So next, last point is helps in avoiding the business shocks and surprises. So business shocks and surprises means if we raise the heavy fund, so what we do like, okay, we have many funds, we can use that and all. So that is where we are going to see how we are going to help our business, like reducing the shock. That means maybe in the future we may get, if we have heavy funds, we may get lost, or we may not understand where we need to invest or whether we are investing in the right place. So we may not come to know. So that will be, we can avoid it in the financial planning. So this is about the financial planning. Now let us move for the next concept, that is a very important concept and little bit confusing. So let us see that is a capital structure. Capital structure means it is the proportion of debt, that means that loan we have taken, and the equity means that is the shares, that is equity used for financing the operation of the business, that is what is the debt we have and the equity used for the financing the operation of the business. How we are going to utilize this amount will be known as capital structure. The formula for capital structure is debt divided by equity, how much debt we have and what is the capital that we had. So a best capital structure is one which maximizes the wealth of an equity shareholder. So the best capital structure is where it will increase and it gives a very wonderful return for the equity shareholders. That is the best capital structure of an that is the best capital structure that they have found. Next one, generally companies use the concept of financial leverage to set up the capital structure. So there is a concept called a financial leverage, from where we are going to fix a particular theory for that. So through that we are going to invest in that. So what is that? What do you mean by financial leverage? Financial leverage refers to proportion of debt in overall capital. The proportion of debt, like that is means the loans, borrowers fund, creditors. So from all those, from where the third party that we have borrowed, from that we are going to manage that. What is the amount that we have borrowed and the equity that we have. So that will be considered. Next, debt increases earnings because it is the cheaper source. So what happens is, when we go on like purchasing, getting the debts, so it increases the earnings. So, and that means when we go for the borrowing of a debt, it is very easy to borrow. There will be no extra charges and all. So it will helps. It becomes cheaper in the when getting the returns also, it will become the cheaper. More debt will increase earnings only if the return on investment rate is higher. So we'll come to know that about in the next, that I will be going to solve one problem. In that we'll come to know. So debt increases earning. More debt will increase earnings only if return on investment is higher. When the return on investment is the interest rate is higher, then only it will be the helpful for the organization. So it will increase our earnings. Let us see how it will going to increase our earnings. So for an example I have taken like this. The total fund that we have used will be 30 lakh and the interest rate will be 10% per annum. Tax will be 30%. EBIT, that will be 4 lakh. EBIT means interest before earnings before interest and tax, that is 4 lakh. Next, debt in the first situation, second situation, third situation. We have three situations. Under that there will be some debt amount. So let us solve the problem. In that, EBIT, interest before earnings before interest and tax, that is 4 lakh, 4 lakh and 4 lakh in each situation, that is given here, that is 4 lakh. Next, we are going to deduct the interest. From the EBIT. First we are going to deduct interest, that is interest. On first situation it is nil, so we have written nil. And second situation it is 10 lakh. Upon that 10 lakh we are going to charge 10%, so that will be 1 lakh. And next it is 20 lakh. Upon that 20 lakh we have charged 10%, that will be 2 lakh. From deducting we got earnings before tax, that is 4 lakh, 3 lakh and 2 lakh. So next we are going to deduct the tax from the previous amount, that is the tax will be 30% on 4 lakh, that is 1,20,000, 90,000 and 60,000. And we are going to earnings after tax, we are getting 2,80,000, 2,10,000 and 1,40,000. So now we need to see that how many number of shares that we are going to distribute, or how many number of shares that we can get from this. That is number of shares of rupees 10 each, that is 3 lakh, 2 lakh and 1 lakh. So this will be charged based on the what we need to divide this amount, and then we are going to decide this. So next, upon that 3 lakh, 2 lakh and 1 lakh, we are going to charge EPS, that is we are going to divide that from the whatever the investment we have made, so that we will get 0.93, 1.05 and 1.40. So this is how we are going to calculate the interest on, like capital, how we are going to calculate whether we are getting high interest or whether we are getting the low interest, we are going to decide it. So this will be the concept of capital structure. So I hope you have understood with this concept. So we are going to end this video here, and thank you for this. Keep studying. If you have any doubts, you can ask.